600 ESPN El Paso River Oaks Properties Schoolyard Sports Studio. Here's Steve Kaplowitz and Adrian Broadus.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's a Thursday afternoon, cloudy in El Paso. Will it rain? Well, you know the answer. Never rains around here when you want it to. Just doesn't. Although, when you least expect it, you'll see some showers. In fact, I'm going to give you the latest AccuWeather readings right now to begin the program, in case you want to know if it has a chance to rain during the show today. The answer is yes. At 5 o'clock, there is a 51% chance of rain in El Paso with 0.02 inches, 47% at 6, and then when we wrap up the show by 7, there'll be a 36%, trailing off into 20 the rest of the night. So there's a chance. There is a chance we could see some showers. Maybe not in the building, maybe around El Paso. Who knows? All I know is, hey, for those of you that have grass like I do, like Adrian does, there's an opportunity you might get a little extra help on the yard today. We'll see if that happens. Good to have you back. Full house, as always. Michael Plundo, Alberto Duetta, Adrian, and once again, the return of Cade McConnell. I'm amazed you even found time to show up today, considering College Football 25 has been out for a few days now.
I've loved playing the game, so that's first and foremost. But I was just telling all the other guys before you walked in, Steve, that my days have been so busy, I feel like I didn't get to play very much of College Football 25, or at least not as much as I wanted to yet.
I understand. But have you played enough to enjoy it? And by the way, this is always my bet in the next question. Is the real Cade better than the video game version, or is the video game version better than you? And you can honestly answer this, because I guarantee you, as playing yourself, you've probably made enough throws and plays to decide, all right, he's better than me, I'm better than the computer. What's the answer?
I genuinely believe I'm better than the computer. I really do. It is harder for me to make reads and play well and be Cade on the game than it is for me to be Cade in real life, hands down.
It is. Okay. I did hear that from the scores standpoint. You got some positives on IQ and some other things, and you also have pretty good arm strength. So that is exciting.
That was the thing. I wasn't expecting them to give me an 87 arm strength because, I mean, that's never been like a cornerstone piece of my game. I'm more of a get it out on time guy. I'm not the Patrick Mahomes 85 yards downfield guy. But they have, I think, at an 87 throwing power, so I was pretty happy with that.
That's good. When it came to speed, they give you about a 30. What'd they nail you with in terms of that?
Yeah, I think they got me at like a 75 agility. I don't know exactly. I can't remember exactly what my speed is, but I know my agility is 75, and I was kind of like, thank you, EA.
I did hear they gave you a lot of toughness. And by the way, I think I would justify that, because in the FIU game, after you started completing some passes, you were crazy enough to go head first to try to get a first down instead of the normal baseball slide like most human beings playing the quarterback position do. And I'm thinking he's either crazy or he's super tough. So EA must have seen that, said, he's super tough. We're going to give him a high tough score.
You know, if there's one thing I feel like I really know how to do at quarterback, it's to, not be afraid of that rush and to kind of step up and make a throw, even though you're going to get hit in the teeth. And so that was one of the things I was really happy. EA had my toughness and my stamina up there really high.
All right, good. So all in all, 2 thumbs up, and yet you haven't even received your copy of the game. This is thanks to somebody who got an advance copy, right?
So they actually just gave it to me yesterday, later in the day. So I originally had not had my own copy, and then I was using I had somebody come over and play the game that already had it on their console. I had them bring it over to my apartment. We played together. It was Judah Zinwa. Right. And then they gave the code the next day to all the players through an email. It was a very seamless process. I think EA has done a great job of making it easy on players and making it easy just for people in general to play this game. But that was kind of how that process went down.
Is the digital download as easy as using a CD to load the game?
It's easier, Steve.
Really?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about scratching the CD. You don't got to, ever misplace it. You never have to worry about getting dust on it or anything like that. I mean,
yeah, but you can't delete it. That's the one thing is because
yes, you can.
Can you? And you can re-download it?
Correct. You can uninstall and reinstall.
Oh, so they give you that option just like you would if you had the regular disc.
Correct. If you uninstall it, there's most of the game's memory goes away. You don't get all of it back.
Okay.
In the sense that let's say a game was a certain amount of storage, you downloaded it, you tossed it away, you wouldn't get to delete all that from the space of the storage of your hard drive, but you get some of it.
Can you actually buy like a 2 terabyte hard drive and store your games in there as backups just in case something was to happen to one of your game consoles?
Yeah, you could. Absolutely, you could do that. You could store it on a hard drive, an external hard drive that you plug in. I've had one of those before on the previous Xbox, and then on this one I don't, because I have Xbox, which, maybe for some of the younger people listening out there are going to be all mad at me for having Xbox. Yeah, it's PlayStation is just so dominant now, I feel like, that everybody just gets really mad when you don't have a PlayStation. But I have a 2 terabyte Xbox hard drive.
Well, I know this. I know there's an Xbox Series X and an Xbox Series S, and both have the game, but this game is not on PlayStation 4. It is only on PlayStation 5. So if you think about it, Xbox actually has the advantage. They've got 2 different systems that have the game versus just one for PlayStation. And as somebody who doesn't play video games, other than watching my son play, it means nothing to me. But I did hear that there are 2 versions of this on Xbox.
Basically, where that comes down to, Steve, is because on Xbox, there's the Series X and the Series S. I have the X. It's like the more bulky, bigger, think of it as like having a desktop.
Okay.
And then think of the Series S as like having a laptop. It's not as big. It doesn't cost as much. Doesn't have as much storage, but it still runs all the same things. Whereas PlayStation 5 just has one model.
Right. And that's okay. By the way, how far along are you on the game? How much have you played? Give me an idea. Have you gone through the whole season? What are we doing so far?
Okay, so far, I've hopped into Ultimate Team just a quick second. I have not started playing Dynasty yet or Road to Glory. Most of my time has been spent doing exhibitions. And someone may or may not have texted me yesterday asking for a review of the game and notes on it. And then as I was playing, I started playing my brother and I lost. And then I lost again. So then I had to play him again. And then I finally won. And then because I finally won, he got upset. And then the snowball rolled down the hill. And before you know it, I'm 4 games deep last night and didn't get back to that person.
Got it. As far as the game itself and playing, you played UTEP the whole time?
I did not play UTEP the whole time. One of the ways like you play exhibitions is the way my brother and I do is we play 3 random teams. So predominantly I've been UTEP, but you use 3 random teams and you get to choose from those 3 random teams that you have selected through.
How accurate is the offense for UTEP based on the playbook that you have been able to learn so far?
It is close. Like there's a lot of really similarities and there's a lot of things that I'm seeing. I'm like, hey, we have that or well, no, we don't have that exact thing, but we have something similar to it. What makes it feel very real to UTEP's offense, sometimes football plays are going to be football plays, and then other times it's kind of the culmination of all those plays together that make it actually feel like what UTEP would run, what we would run. And so they have a lot of options in there that we would use. Mm-hmm. The culmination of all those together mixed with some of your standard flavor football plays, that's what makes it feel real.
All right. Guys, you were here Monday with Cade when the game first arrived and Zay showed up and everybody had a chance to play it. You've been listening to Cade talk about the game for the last 10 minutes of the show. Are there additional questions on College Football 25 that you have for him before we break and come back talking baseball with Jay Jaffe here in 10 minutes?
How is the Road to Glory mode? I haven't really heard much about that one. My friends, they said that's cool, but I mean, that's all they give me. I want to learn more. So, Cade, have you had a chance to jump into that?
I have not had a chance to jump into Road to Glory yet. Like I said, I've been mainly exhibition, but the cool thing about Road to Glory is like, you can create your own player and you can go make it kind of your own thing. Whereas for me, who's someone who's not, admittedly has not been a super big sports video game player my whole life, it's cool to hop into exhibition and play as all my teammates on UTEP or, use some of my friends maybe who are on different teams and things like that.
Excellent. One down. Anybody else with questions? Or are we through?
Ready to host a football camp?
There we go. That's an interesting little, he threw you a flea flicker. I like that.
Yeah, it's okay. So I'm going to have my own football camp just announced on July 27th, next Saturday at Canutillo High School. We're accepting middle school and high schoolers. It's going to be awesome. Passing and skills camp. We have quarterbacks, wide receivers, and DBs out there. The link is in my bio and Instagram to go register, and I also posted that on Twitter. So if you guys would like to register for that, please head over. It's going to be a really, really cool camp. It's going to be myself and some teammates coming out there, and we do have a special NFL guest making an appearance. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that yet, though, Adrian.
I I don't think so. But we can have people guess.
We could have guesses on the show. That'd be fun. And you know, I was going to say you could drop clues, but you already dropped a clue. You said an NFL player will be joining you.
It is, and it's big news, and it's really exciting. I've never had an opportunity to do something like this, but being able to host my own camp with the awesome team that's been around me, helping this get set up and make it happen, and then getting to bring somebody, an NFL caliber person around, I mean, that's really, really special, and I'm very, very grateful.
It sounds amazing. It really does, and I'm excited for you. Let me ask you this. Is this the first camp you've actually hosted yourself?
This is the first camp I've ever actually hosted. I've done, plenty of training and private coaching and all those type of things, but I've never had a camp, especially not one that, to the scale that we're going to have here.
I know your attention to detail, just how you approach your show and everything you do. I can imagine that anybody who signs up for this camp, they're going to get a lot out of it because you're not going to put your name on something unless you make sure that everybody that's a part of this really has a chance to make, you can make a difference in a lot of players.
One thing that I really want to emphasize about that, Steve, is that I've been to so many camps across my career of playing football, especially in high school and middle school, right? And I never want a camp for kids to be able to go out. I'm not a college coach. I can't recruit somebody, to go get a scholarship around the country. I might be able to put in a good word for them at UTEP, but that's not what this camp is about. The last thing that I want is for a kid to come to this camp and feel like they didn't get anything out of it or they didn't get better. The kids that come out and the high schoolers and middle schoolers that come out to this camp are going to get really good high-level coaching from great players, and they're going to actually be cared for. They're going to be taught how to do things, and they're going to get tidbits and different things maybe they could learn so that by the time they walk out of there, they've learned something else about football.
What and what positions are you allowing for this camp?
Quarterbacks, wide receivers, and defensive backs. So, we thought that would be a really good mix, to train the quarterbacks, so that way I can go and take them. And some of the other quarterbacks, we might have some other special guest appearances that I haven't even had a chance to tell Adrian about, who's been helping me plan this thing as well. But quarterbacks, wide receivers, DBs, it'd be a really good mix to get some passing in there, to get some one-on-ones going, and, start simulating some real football.
And it's going to be next Saturday. A week from Saturday. From what time to what time?
A week from Saturday, about the 9 to 12 o'clock hour. All the details specifically, like I said, will be on. It's posted on my Instagram and posted on my Twitter at Cade McConnell, where you can register with the link in my bio. It's going to be from 9 to 12 at Canutillo High School.
I'm excited for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you said you're going to have some UTEP friends joining you along the way as well.
We are. And all the guys that I'm bringing along are such great players, and they know the game so well. That's why we're at this level. And all the guys that are coming, too, are excited about it. They're excited to come coach, and they're excited to pass on knowledge to the younger generation.
Excellent. All right. Are you the only quarterback that's going to be coming, or are there other quarterbacks that are going to join you?
No, there will definitely be other quarterbacks that are joining me, and there might be some really cool ones there, too.
Good. I'm excited. Good for you. This is good stuff. And who knows? Maybe we'll have callers try and guess the celebrity, NFL player that's going to be with you. And Adrian, if somebody guesses, can we at least put a cool little prize package together?
We can have some signed merchandise at the latest. Well, it'll be signed by Cade. But I can guarantee that if somebody gets this right and they have a youngster out there that wants to attend this camp, they will be able to join. I'll make that happen for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. So, in other words, if somebody wins and they have someone who would be attending the camp as a camper, you will give them the opportunity to attend the camp as part of winning the contest.
Yes, that's exactly right. Let's do it. I know, Cade, you have some other contests planned for next week and stuff like that. You'll probably be doing the media rounds next week, too, and just talking to everybody about this camp, which is exciting. It's exciting to talk about it first here on the show.
It really is. I'm so excited about it. There's a ton of stuff that's gone into this. It's taught me a lot. I've had a great time doing this and planning it and having the team around me that's been supportive, but it's also been a really cool learning experience to see what actually goes in to making an event like this happen, and not just making it happen, but making it great for everybody who's a part of it.
Good for you. I can't wait for it. I'm excited about next Saturday. I think that's going to be terrific, and love the fact that we're going to give people a chance to try to guess the NFL player on the show today. Good stuff. Hey, good start to the show. 16 past. Jay Jaffe will be along next to talk baseball and beer right after Charlie Wan in this traffic update.
Don't have any crashes right now. However, I-10 West at Mesa, the right lane is taken away here. Right lane is closed here. I-10 West at Mesa because they're doing some construction there. That's been going on all day, but it's not finished up. It was supposed to finish up. But what's happening here, you're in single file on the left lane, I-10 West at Mesa. On the east side, we have a lot of wet streets right now. On the far east side, I'm talking about far east side, Horizon, Loop 375, the Loop 375 east at about Rojas, Pelicano, that area had some heavy rain, but it left a lot of slick areas right there, so use extra caution on the far east side. And then also we have a closure going on Zaragoza South and North Loop, right lane, take it away there. Mesa and Wallington, right lane, take it away there. Leo's Restaurant, 7520 Rimcon, approaching 78 years in business. Famous tortilla soup, popular Mr. T specials, the party trays, full menu, fresh, delicious, affordable. Leo's Restaurant, 7520 Rimcon, Charlie 1600, ESPN El Paso.
Town Square Media presents this week's dining deals from Seize the Deal.
I'm here today with Chris Hutchinson from Hacienda de Mesilla, located at 1891 Avenida de Mesilla in Old Mesilla. Chris, right off the bat, I got to tell you, one thing I love about the restaurant is that you are family owned.
Yeah, family owned, known for steak and seafood with Southwestern flavors. My parents and I have been in the restaurant industry since 1996. We also run Posta de Mesilla, which is a historic restaurant. But I've been with Hacienda de Mesilla since 2016, and it's been a great experience.
Okay, well, here's the toughest question. Of all the delicious items on your menu, what's your favorite?
Oh, you have to try our Chilean sea bass. I'd put it up against anybody's. It's a nice cut of fish over a bed of mushroom risotto, jumbo asparagus. We even top it with some more shrimp and lump crab meat. Delicious meal.
And at Hacienda de Mesilla, you also do private parties and catering as well, right?
Yes. So we have event coordinator Jordan. She does a good job. We cater for weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, bridal showers, baby showers. You can sit up to 120 people outdoors, or if you have a nice, more intimate settings, meetings, about 40 people to 60 people inside.
And following your meal, you don't have to leave either, do you?
We are also an inn. We have 14 hotel rooms as well. So if you need a little staycation or get away from the El Paso area, come and dine with us at the Hacienda, and then you can just stumble your way up into 12 of our beautiful hotel rooms.
Find out more at KLAQ.com, KissElPaso.com, and 600ESPNElPaso.com. Saturday, July 27th, Speaking Rock presents the legendary Queen's Ride. Experience icons of rock, Queen's Ride. Live and free on the Speaking Rock Outdoor Stage. Queen's Ride, Saturday, July 27th, ages 21 and above. See Speaking Rock's Facebook for more info.
Calling all UTEP football fans. The Oscar Arrieta Agency has a winning deal for you. Win the West t-shirts coming this summer. Follow Oscar Arrieta Agency on Facebook and Instagram to see all the details on future giveaways.
We're ready to win the West this fall, and our agency welcomes Coach Scotty Walden and his family to El Paso.
Don't forget, the Oscar Arrieta Agency is the local insurance expert when it comes to auto and home insurance. Bundle and save with them today. Visit OscarArrietaAgency.com.
Let's win the West, El Paso, and go Miners!
As part of summer's greatest hits, it's the first ever Macy's All-Star Week. Join us for an incredible lineup of live events in-store every day, like fashion shows, beauty demos, and more fun for the family. Now through Tuesday, July 23rd. Plus, shop our best summer deals, like 50% off swim, sandals, and more. And exclusives just for Star Rewards members. You don't want to miss this. Go to Macys.com/events to see what's at your local store. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
600 ESPN El Paso.
20 past as we continue here on Sports Talk, and since it is the All-Star break and the second half starts tomorrow, what better way to get us through the first half of the baseball season than this man? He is Jay Jaffe, joining us from the team out at Fangraphs.com. In fact, Jay's replacement level killers is up. He's covered everything from second base, catcher, third base, shortstop, center field, left field, right field. I mean, what's left? First base and pitchers?
I did first base as part of the first installment. The last one is designated hitters, and that'll run tomorrow.
Oh, okay, DHs. That's right. So replacement level. You can't really do a replacement level pitcher, can you? That's kind of weird.
The concept doesn't work in this format. Because you're talking about team depth, and every team's got like an endless supply of replacement level starters, and workloads are a factor and injuries are a factor. It just doesn't work. Believe me, I tried to come up with a way.
I understand. Hey, by the way, I saw that the All-Star game was up 6% in terms of viewers from last year's game, but it's still the second lowest ever for the event. I thought it was entertaining. I really did. I liked the game. I thought the game was played well and fun to watch. You tell me, was All-Star Day a success?
Yeah, I thought. It was a competitive game. It was. You had a couple big home runs that determined the outcome. It seemed entertaining enough to me. I don't know what other than like a higher scoring affair. I don't know what you could have wanted. We got Paul Skeens. I thought that was a great decision by the National League to start him because he has just been on such an incredible roll to start his career. I think we got most of the players you'd want to see there. Shohei Ohtani hitting a home run. That's that would be on your checklist of things most people would like to see. There are a few people missing from injuries, but what are you going to do? You can't control that. I thought it was fine.
I did too. And remember, you have the Republican National Convention going on at the same time as the Derby and the All-Star Game, and people are tuned into that as well. So I'll be interested to see starting next season, once you're not worrying about that again, how things work. But for the most part, you're right. Entertaining game. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the uniforms that they wore?
I dislike the uniforms. I liked it much more when players wore their own team uniforms, and you got that kind of cross section of the league, and it was a lot more colorful. It was a lot more fun. Because I think a good number of fans who are mostly attuned to the home team, they don't get to see everybody all that much, and so I think this is a way to sort of connect players to teams, and you lose that. It's harder to identify these guys when they're all wearing, these color, just the same uniform. And the two color combinations I thought were terrible. I don't know what that red and tan or whatever. I think was it supposed to be red and gold? I don't even know. It looked terrible on TV, and the National League looked like the Marlins. I did not like that all black ensemble. The blue was okay, but it was just way too much black.
I wonder how long it's been since big leaguers wore their own uniforms for the All-Star Game.
It wasn't that long ago. I'm not sure exactly what the year was, but it wasn't that long ago.
All right. I didn't think so either. But, I'm with you. I don't know how jersey sales are for these All-Star Game jerseys. I just was looking at the TV going, wow, those colors are really loud on television. They really were.
Yeah. Okay. 2019 was the last time they wore their own uniforms, and there was no All-Star Game in 2020. So it's just This is like a 2021 to 24. It's been 4 times, and Nike has not done very well with the uniform thing in general. It's this fiasco that we saw this spring demonstrates. So it sounded to me like Rob Manfred was receptive to the idea of going back to the way it used to be, and I like the sound of that.
Hey, by the way, you mentioned Paul Skeens earlier. He is so much fun to watch. He really is. The velocity is unbelievable. The stuff is off the charts. Seeing him against Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, that's exactly what baseball fans wanted to see, even though you only were able to get him for 5 batters.
Yeah, exactly. He's on a workload limit. Sure, it'd be nice if we got to see him pitch 2 or 3 innings, but I thought he did great under the circumstances. I, as much as anybody else, wanted to see those matchups. He dispatched Aaron Judge very quickly there, but the battle with Soto was great. I
don't know if you noticed also in the game, I thought the audio of the ball hitting the bat was very loud. Like Ohtani's home run sounded like the ball went about 700 feet based on just the audio of that. And you know what? I'm okay with that. If Fox is going to bring that to life during some of their broadcasts and enhance the sound of balls, leaving 100 miles an hour off a bat, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I didn't catch it, but by that point I was writing the latest the next day's installment for the replacement level killers, so I didn't have the luxury of having the volume on full blast, but certainly looked up when he hit it.
Jay Jaffe with us here from Fangraphs as we continue on Sports Talk. All right, as far as the divisions go here at the break, Baltimore, Cleveland, Seattle leading their respective divisions in the American League. Phil's, Milwaukee, and the Dodgers leading their divisions so far in the National League. How many of these have you gotten right from the preseason? How many of these have you missed?
God, I don't know. I make my preseason picks and I mostly forget about them because they're usually either so obviously right or wrong enough that I want to forget them. I'm sure I picked the Dodgers to win the National League West. Other than that, I can't remember who I picked for these. I probably had the Braves in the NL East. I don't know if I had the Brewers in the NL Central. I'd have to look that up here.
I know it's a good question. I didn't give you any warning on that either. I just figured you probably knew off the bat, but it's a tough one.
No, I didn't. Oh, actually, here I can get to it here as we speak. Though the Fangraphs staff picks are somewhere here.
All right.
Okay, who did I have here? I had Dodgers. I had the Cardinals, so that doesn't look great, but they're in second place.
Yep.
I had the Phillies and Diamondbacks as wild cards. At least the Phillies are making the playoffs. The Diamondbacks could. I had the Giants making the playoffs. That's not looking great. And let's see here. In the American League, I have the Orioles. Wait.
Well, hold on. Yeah, if you have the Orioles,
I had the Orioles in the East, the Twins in the Central, and the Rangers in the West. So that's looking. Two out of three are looking pretty bad.
Yeah.
I had the Rays and Astros as wild card teams. It's not looking great, although the Astros have obviously climbed back into it here. The Rays are looking like they might be sellers for once. And I had the Yankees as the third wild card, just barely getting in, which, hey, the way they've been playing the last month, maybe that's not so... maybe that's actually right, but yeah, these aren't looking like this is not going to be a banner year, especially for me in the American League.
I'll say this though, when you look at these, the way these races are going right now, I think that Minnesota, Kansas City, especially, they've been a pleasant surprise. The Red Sox have played much better as of late. Nobody thought Seattle would be, ahead of the American League West at this point. That's a good one, and Milwaukee, give them credit. I mean, you see what Pat Murphy's done with this team so far after losing Craig Counsell to the Cubs. Here they are, and they're 13 games over 500. So there's been some good storylines so far this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's nice to see these teams. I would put the Pirates in there too. I mean, they're 500 at the break for the first time since 2016, and between Skeens and Jarrett Jones, they've got two of the most exciting rookie pitchers around. That's a lot of fun.
All right, more with Jay as we keep things moving here on Sports Talk. But first, right over to Michael Plundo standing by with this bottom of the hour Sports Center update.
Michael Plundo here with your bottom of the hour ESPN Sports Center update. Let's get to it. Russell Westbrook is expected to join the Denver Nuggets after a Clippers-Jazz trade earlier. That's right. The Clippers and Jazz have agreed to a sign-and-trade deal involving Russell Westbrook, who is expected to join the Nuggets after Utah waives the former MVP and buys out the remainder of his contract. The Clippers will receive guard Chris Dunn from the Jazz for Westbrook, a second-round draft pick swap, and cash, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. Westbrook, coming off a 2023-24 season during which he averaged a career-low 11 points for the Clippers, he is expected to clear waivers before joining the Nuggets. League sources told ESPN that the Nuggets were interested in adding Westbrook if he were waived. The Nuggets can use a veteran backup point guard who can provide energy and defend after Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Reggie Jackson left in free agency. Let's get out to some NFL news as Commanders president Jason Wright will be stepping down after the season and will change roles. That's right. Jason Wright, the first black team president in NFL history, will no longer serve in that role and will leave the Washington Commanders after the season, a team spokesperson confirmed. He'll serve as a senior advisor until his departure. Wright will continue to focus on securing naming rights for the stadium, as well as helping in finding a new stadium site. But there will be an immediate search for a new president, led by majority owner Josh Harris, who also owns the 76ers, and Tad Brown, the CEO of Harris Blitzer Sports and Entertainment. Former owner Dan Snyder hired Wright back in August of 2020, based in large part on the recommendation of the league. Washington was embroiled in controversy that summer from horrible allegations. That's a look at your ESPN Sports Center update. I'm Michael Plundo.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. We're back right now with Jay Jaffe, who joins us from Fangraphs.com. If you go to Fangraphs, you can see all of the replacement level killer series throughout the outfield. Everything but DH is up right now. And he also held a chat not that long ago. The worst team defenses among contenders. That's a fun series to write about, isn't it? When you talk about teams that are basically in there because of their offense versus their defense.
Yeah, that one was so fun. I kind of took an aggregation of the various metrics and put them on a scale so that we could kind of judge them equivalently, because like the spread for defensive runs saved, which has less regression built into it, is wider than the spread for some of the other metrics, things like that. It was a good precursor to this series, the replacement level killers, because I covered a lot of problem spots on these teams, and it was kind of a reminder of some of these weaknesses. It's been said before, but it's easier to upgrade defense than it is offense, and you could always find a good glove man there who's maybe not being fully utilized by his team. It's pretty obvious how you measure hitting. It's less obvious how you measure defense, and so there's a lot of hidden value there that sometimes you see teams make below the radar moves at the deadline.
The story about the city of St. Pete and their city council green-lighting a new ballpark for the Rays. That's something that I know has been going on for many, many years. The Rays have been on the verge of leaving in the past because they didn't have a new park. And the Trop is something that we all know is long kind of outdated. They needed something new, and now they're going to be getting their opportunities. They're going to stick around for at least 30 years. You tell me, is this good news finding out that the Rays get a new ballpark and hopefully start to see their attendance spike?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'm sure the taxpayers are going to pay through the nose for this one. I hope they get a good ballpark for their money. I feel like I've been writing about the Rays' need for a new ballpark for a decade here. So to me, it's good to have any kind of resolution to that. I'm not the one who has to pay the taxes, though.
Very true. Yes, that's something that we could talk about at a later time with another audience. You're right about that, Jay. Meanwhile, I'm looking at another interesting little sub-note, and that is what Rob Manfred talked about a few days ago with robot umpires possibly debuting at spring training to test them out with the challenge system. Now, I got to tell you, if you ever write about this, I'm going to give you a little context here. The challenge system is something that we've watched in AAA here in El Paso really since last season. They usually split up the 3 days of robot umps with 3 days of the challenge system, and fans decided, along with players and everybody else involved, to do away with the 3 days of robot umps and now just go to the challenge system completely, kind of like what you watch with Wimbledon when you see them challenge a call. It's going to be the same thing. Fans love it. It's fast, doesn't slow the game down, and I was pretty excited to hear that baseball is going to at least test that out to see how it works.
Yeah, it seemed like that was the direction that things were heading, and I'm glad that Major League Baseball has at least decided on what the way forward is going to be, whether it gets here in 2 years or however long. That this is a less obtrusive way of doing it. It'll be reserved for the highest leverage situations. It'll reduce the number of glitches that are involved, because I think that's the big concern, is that we've seen some pretty strange things when you've got it trying to cover every pitch, when you've got player heights so variable that you were running the gamut from Jose Altuve to Aaron Judge, more or less. The bottom of the zone is can really be a problem there. So yeah, I think it sounds like testing it next spring could be realistic, but it'll take at least another year to implement it fully because they have to evaluate how the testing went.
I think fans will like it when it eventually comes to Major League Baseball. I really do. All right, let's wrap it up. Beer pick of the week. Jay, what do you want to talk about?
Okay. The other day, while my daughter was in her swimming lessons, I snuck over to Threes Brewing, which I hadn't had for a while, and I got a few very good Pilsners. They just had a Pilsner Fest that happened while I was still on Cape Cod here, but they still have a lot of these really great Pilsners there. The one I'm highlighting today is called Contiguity. It is a blended German-style Pilsner. It is actually basically the product of blending together two beers. If I'm remembering correctly, one of them was aged in oak barrels, and the other one features whole hops, and so it's very hoppy. And so you have this kind of oaky, kind of hoppy blend that's very smooth and really not quite like any other Pilsner that I've had, and yet fits within the style, and at 5.2% ABV is just a wonderful session beer.
Good stuff. Threes Brewing always comes up clutch for Jay, folks. You have no idea. And he's like a VIP when he shows up there. They know him. It's just a matter of time before they name a beer after you. I'm telling you, there's going to be...
We'll see about that.
Jaws beer, Jaws Pilsner will be coming soon to a Threes Brewing near you. All right, Jay, good stuff as always. Talk to you again right back here next week.
Okay, sounds great. See you. Thanks.
Jay Jaffe, folks, as we continue 38 past, more sports talk, taking you up till 7 o'clock right here, 600 ESPN El Paso.
I'm ABC7's Paul Cicala. Happy Thursday, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Ciudad Juarez. Here's your top stories on ESPN El Paso for July 18th, 2024. Former President Barack Obama is joining the list of Democrats calling for President Biden to step down. ABC News is reporting Obama privately expressed his concerns about President Biden alongside former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The New York Times also reports that Representative Jamie Raskin sent a letter to President Biden earlier this month advising him to reconsider his re-election campaign. Coming up on ABC 7 at 10 p.m., we will have coverage of Donald Trump's speech tonight at the Republican National Convention. We're also efforting reaction on Biden's re-election drama from El Paso area politicians. The El Paso field office of CBP operations has seen an increase in fentanyl seizures this year. Today, U.S. Customs and Border Protection's Acting Commissioner Troy Miller visited El Paso to announce new operations that will be conducted in our sector. Commissioner Miller, along with Chief Good of Border Patrol and Director Mancha with CBP, said the use of fentanyl continues to rise as one of the biggest threats across the country. That is why 2 initiatives will be enforced here in the El Paso area to prevent more fentanyl tragedies. Heriberto Perez will have more later on ABC 7. And as for weather, ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Doppler Dave has our region slated for a first alert because of storms that are hitting the borderland this evening and throughout the weekend. Storms may also go into next week as well. Not everyone will get rain and perhaps some flooding issues, but there is a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, so the storms that do develop will have a lot of energy to produce rains and lots of drops and precipitation in a hurry. Stay safe and dry, my friends, and have a positive, productive rest of your Thursday filled with lots of joy. I'm ABC 7's Paul Cicala for 600 ESPN El Paso.
We have that closure going on. We're talking about I-10 West at Mesa. The right lane's still closed there. You're in single file on the left lane, so a lot of slow up right here. I-10 West at Mesa lanes. Also, we have a closure going on. This one going on tonight. Loop 375 south and northbound main lane closure between North Loop and Zaragoza. Another closure goes on tonight. Smoke signal, full closure, access to Montana and Loop 375. So just be aware of that one. At Leo's Restaurant, 7520 Rincon, approaching 78 years in business. Famous tortilla soup. We have the popular Mr. T specials. Don't forget the delicious sopapillas. Home of El Paso's first sopapillas in 1946. Leo's Restaurant, 7520 Rincon, Charlie 1600, ESPN El Paso.
River Oaks Properties was founded by local businessman Jerry Rubin. Their locations include the rapidly growing, highly trafficked Zaragoza Road and East Lake Boulevard in Far East El Paso. In addition, River Oaks has recently completed Westtown Marketplace, El Paso's newest outdoor shopping destination. River Oaks helps create local jobs through retailers. Want to start a business or you need the best location? River Oaks Properties has the best locations in El Paso. For more information, visit roplpaso.com.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
This is Steve Kaplowitz, and 600 ESPN El Paso has a great way for you to enjoy Sports Talk on demand. Download our show by subscribing to the free 600 ESPN El Paso podcasts on your Apple or Google Play device. After that, you can enjoy the best of Sports Talk each day, delivered commercial-free to your phone or tablet. That's right, all the best calls, interviews, and insight with the touch of a button, so you never miss a moment. 600 ESPN El Paso podcasts.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, like bringing brownies to a dinner party. But I never bring brownies with nuts, because not everyone likes nuts, so they wouldn't eat those brownies. And even people who do like nuts will still eat brownies without them. Why? Because they're brownies.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
We will never forget the tragedy of August 3rd. Let us stand together for the 5th Annual Day of Remembrance presented by the El Paso United Family Resiliency Center, a program of the United Way of El Paso County. You are invited to join us Saturday, August 3rd at the Healing Garden inside Ascarate Park. For information about FRC healing services and the Day of Remembrance, visit elpasounitedfrc.org. This special event is free and open to the public, and we hope to see you there.
It's the sweetest event of the summer. KLAQ's Watermelon Party. Saturday, July 20th at Western Playland. Pay one price to ride all the Western Playland rides and take a bite out of summer with watermelon, music, fireworks, watermelon eating contests, eats, treats, and more. Sponsored by T2Go T Energy, New Start Home, Charlie Clark Infinity and Charlie Clark Nissan, Baby Tree Surrogacy, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, Genuine Reference Studio, Portalito Steakhouse, Napa Auto Parts, and the El Pasoans Fighting Hunger Food Bank. Learn more at KLAQ.com.
At New Start Homes, we believe in the American dream. Proudly serving El Paso and Las Cruces, New Start Homes offers over 20 models of single wides, double wides, and tiny homes that are ready for delivery. With house financing options, New Start Homes can get you into the mobile home of your dreams. No credit, no problem. Call New Start Homes at 915-852-8882 or check out the inventory online at newstarthomes.net. New Start Homes, because home is where your American dream starts.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. From the NFL to college football, UTEP to the El Paso Chihuahuas, start your day with Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Michelle, and yours truly, Chris Canty, and end it with Sports Talk weekdays on 600 ESPN El Paso.
.45 past the hour as we continue here on Sports Talk. 10 a.m. tomorrow. Get ready. Dining deals. It's on the must-read bar at 600 ESPN, ElPaso.com. $50 to Hacienda de Macia for just $25. Food's amazing, folks. They've got everything. Steaks, seafood. Oh, my God, the crab enchiladas are just ridiculously good. The margaritas are awesome. They've got a bar that you can't go wrong. Incredible drinks. Just one of the best places in Las Cruces when you're out there in Old Macia. It's what it is. Simple as that. And the $50 can also go to a stay at their boutique hotel if you would like to spend a weekend out there and have the best location ever. You'll be like right there in the restaurant in their hotel. So Hacienda de Macia, $50 for just $25, 10 a.m. tomorrow on Dining Deals. Check that out on the must-read bar at 600 ESPN ElPaso.com. Let's keep moving on. We've got also, this is exciting. Cade, you have your next installment of Under Center coming up here in about 15 minutes.
We do. We have episode 3 coming up this week, and it's going to be former UTEP quarterback Jake McNamara is going to be joining the show. One of my best friends, if not my best friend from down here. He's now, transferred just up the road to the rival on the other side of the I-10 down there. So it's going to make for a really good episode, and it's going to, I'm curious to see where this Talkin' Under Center goes because the last 2 have been catching up with the guys. Haven't talked to them in a while, wanted to see what they're doing and how things are going. I talk to Jake all the time, so I'm a little nervous about this one. You know why? Because I don't know where it's going to go, Steve. I don't know.
And he's now a rival. Let's be honest. He went from a teammate to a rival in a matter of moments.
That's right. I mean, I can't tell you how much off the field I love this guy and how much on the field I am going to not stand him. Just can't stand his guts.
Do you think he's playing as himself in college football 25? Is he even in the game?
I actually talked to him about it. I don't believe he's in the game because of how late he had transferred in those roster updates and all that stuff that went down. So I don't think he is in the game.
Oh, he's not going to be happy then. If you know that, that's not going to make him happy at all.
No, but what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have him come down here back to El Paso. We're going to input his player into the game. We're going to do the Battle of I-10 that way.
I like that. You're going to design him. Or let him design himself.
That's right. Yeah, he'll probably make himself, 99 speed, 99 strength, all the rest of the above, and UTEP's still going to win.
Is he going to make himself 6'5" instead of 5'10"?
We're going to have to ask him that. We're going to have to ask him that and see what he would do. Okay. I can't wait to hear his response.
Me neither. All right, back in town from Alaska. And calling into the show right now is Domingo, who joins us here on the program. Domingo, what's going on, man? How are you?
How you doing, Captain? Also, how was your vacation?
Vacation was excellent. Had a great time. A lot of R&R for me. For you, it sounds like you had a terrific time. Were you on a cruise ship? Where were you in Alaska?
I was around. First of all, look, we just toured around Alaska. We were originally supposed to go 11 days, but because of the hurricane and the mechanical failure, it got reduced to 4. We lost 4 days of vacation, so it lasted a week. We were supposed to do Fairbanks, but that got canceled from that hurricane and the mechanical issue that caused the miss on connecting flight. And we didn't went to Alaska probably last Tuesday.
Okay. So hopefully they'll give you credit. Maybe the company will say, listen, we cut your trip short. Least we can do is give you a voucher so you can go and do this again next time.
Nah, we already settled it. It's already been taken care of, but no.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but first of all, this weekend, you already know what's going to happen. My America's going to take those good-for-nothing Bravos, and guess who's going to win? America, because they're the best. Bravos, and to all those Bravo fans, you're going to lose, Bravos. Odia mi más, lose the Bravos. America's going to win it all.
Now, hang on. First off, the Bravos are losing, regularly. They lost last night. Their coach called out the whole team. So going out on a limb, screaming into a telephone that Club Americas is going to defeat Los Bravos, you're not exactly going out on a limb here with some kind of bold prediction. You're kind of preaching to what's expected when these two teams meet up. You realize that, right?
Yeah, it's my. Come on, I'm ready for Saturday. Saturday night at the Benito. Hey, I'm gonna say to those Bravos, somos locales otra vez.
By the way, let me ask you this, Alberto. If, in fact, FC Juarez comes back and beats Club America, will you stake out Domingo just so you can stick it in his face after what he just did, that display right now, trying to just rub it into every FC Juarez fan out there?
Yeah, it'd be really neat to get a picture of him, on the TV broadcast when the kids start getting really sad and they start panning to them on the TV
and crying.
Like that, yeah.
Hey, Domingo,
a pain cobra.
Domingo, how confident are you that Club America is going to win? What will you do if FC Juarez defeats your beloved Club America here this weekend?
I won't say nothing. I'm just going to walk away and go back home.
That's it, huh? You're just going to pack up and walk home.
Yeah, just like what happened to the U.S. after we lost to Uruguay. I didn't have no choice but to move on and go back to Club America. And, yeah, but I can't. I'm excited for this weekend. I'm very excited for this weekend. I can't wait to see my America again.
Are you wearing your jersey to the game?
No, I don't have a New Jersey, but I still have my Nike. I still have my jersey from last season.
No, you're going to wear that? Are you going to show up? Are you going to show up wearing a Club America jersey to the match?
Yes, I've done it a lot of times.
All right. Well, and by the way, how does the FC Juarez fans treat you when you show up to their house wearing the opposing team's jersey? How does that work?
They don't even say a word. I just go to the north section where the business fans are at and just stay with your team.
All right. Listen, I appreciate that, Domingo. Welcome back. Hope you have a great time this weekend, and thanks for calling in to the show. You realize that if you went to, like, any place in the NFL, showing up with the opposing team's jersey and being, like obnoxious, like Domingo is going to be in this matchup, he'd have a hard time walking out alive. So it's interesting when he said that you can go to the north section with the opposing fans, be as rowdy as you want, and everybody kind of leaves you alone. I didn't expect that.
Yes, there's so many America fans.
That's why.
They really do outnumber everyone else. So the stadium does kind of become a friendly environment to them.
It's like bringing the Cowboys into it.
Yes, it is like bringing the Cowboys. So,
all right.
And also, I think a lot of Juarez fans kind of just accept their fate. They know the writing's on the wall.
Things got bad last night, didn't they? After the loss to Pumas.
They did. The press conference wasn't a happy place.
I heard the head coach really took aim on the whole organization.
Yeah, he just kind of spoke honestly about how he felt about the offseason and how it's affecting the current tournament. And he's tired. He looks very tired and frustrated.
And he hasn't been there that long, has he?
No, he hasn't been here a full year.
So it's wearing him out also.
Yeah, and it's also wearing him out, I think, because it falls on you. You're the head coach, and people think it's your fault.
That's true.
And so a lot of people want to clear their name. It's not my fault. And
you were at the match last night. What's the pulse of the fans after the 2-1 loss?
I mean, yeah, they're disappointed, but I hate to say it, they were kind of it's expected, right? A little bit. It's not a huge surprise that you're dropping these games at home, and then when the coach comes out and just flat out says what everyone has been thinking and saying, it's just, well, we didn't pick anyone up.
Eric, the number Fournier, gets into the program on Twitter and X, says Domingo really needs to lay off the sauce.
Yeah, I'm surprised Esteban didn't get in.
But it's not 6 o'clock yet. He has time. Don't worry. He'll get in about an hour when he's probably listened to this already. But, yeah, Domingo, really, he was so subdued when he was in Alaska. We didn't recognize him. Then all of a sudden he comes back to El Paso and essentially decides that, that's it. He's going to go back on the warpath.
It was the nature. It was soothing him.
Yeah, it's too bad he's not still there because he was like a different guy. I was so impressed. I didn't recognize Domingo. But I recognized him when he called in about 5 minutes ago. That's for sure. All right. 1 down, 2 to go. When we come back, the return of Talking Under Center with your host, Cade McConnell, and special guest, former UTEP quarterback, now New Mexico State quarterback, Jake McNamara. That is coming up right here. 600 ESPN El Paso.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
To the Oscar Arieta Agency for sponsoring this segment. I'm so excited about the Win the West contest that we're going to be doing with them. Adrian, Steve, let's get right into it. J-Mac, how you doing? Thank you for coming on the show. I know it was last minute today, but we're happy to have you on here. How's it going, man?
Doing great. Excited to be on.
Hey, super cool of you to be able to hop on last minute. Thanks for helping me out. But let's hop right into it, Jake. Let's hop right into it. So people know you as the UTEP quarterback that's been here for the past couple of years. I've been very vocal about it on the show of how great of friends we are. You're my best friend down here. and then all of a sudden you moved down the road just a couple of months ago down to New Mexico State, and you're now on the opposite side of the Battle of I-10. Real quick, just talk about that process, because obviously that was quick, it was sudden, and you're just right down the road. You're not too far away. So talk about a little bit of how that process went of going right down there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I started out at UTEP this January, and, things kind of didn't go my way. And I decided to enter the transfer portal. So, I mean, keeping my options open, just wanting to, play the biggest I could. And then New Mexico State hit me up, gave me an opportunity to play. And, everything they stand for, we go by, our motto is Ride for the Brand. And, it's a great group of coaches with a great program. They had a lot of success the last couple of years, so that's definitely something that I wanted to jump on. So I did right away as soon as possible, and now I've been here for the past couple months, being involved in summer workouts, and couldn't be happier.
One of the things that I will give Las Cruces, because I'm not going to give them a lot. I can't stand New Mexico State, and when we're on that field against each other, you're going to be just about as enemy as it gets. But when we're off that field, it's nothing but best friends. And one thing I will give Las Cruces is that I went down there recently to play that New Mexico State golf course with you. I mean, and that place was beautiful. So I'm hopping into the golf talk right away, Jake. Right now, your game, what are we shooting? Last time I was with you, right? We were mid-high 80s. How have you been shooting it lately?
Lately, I'm keeping in the low 80s. The last match I had was poor on the front nine, shot a 46, and then I ended up pulling it all together, shooting a 38 on the back. But, staying in the low 80s, I'm trying to break 80 before camp starts so I can finally say that I've shot in the 70s.
Time's running out for that, all right? Time is definitely running out, so we're going to need to dial it in real quick if we want to do that. I'd like to be there to witness it. I don't want to see a picture of the scorecard get sent to me with a bunch of erases and scratches, and then all of a sudden you've shot a 73. I don't need to see any of that. People probably don't know how awesome our golf circle has been over the past couple of years here. It's been me, you, Gavin Hardison, Marcus Bellin, Kevin Hurley, newly addition Luke Seib. We've all played a lot of golf. Right now, who would you say is the best golfer of the group?
Besides myself, I would say by far it's Marcus Bellin. That guy doesn't hit it the farthest, but he's like a grandpa. No matter what, it's going straight down the middle, and he's just able to attack the greens at a high level, and he probably shoots the lowest out of any of us.
That's fair. And we get really competitive with that. I mean, we had a group chat for our golf expeditions and going out every single weekend. And for the longest time, there was 4 of us. Me and Jake were scramble partners. We had our team name. It was Sticks and Six. That was our team name. We should have gotten hats, Jake. We should have gotten something to brand ourselves. It would have been so much better. That way we could go out and match on the course. But it got really, really competitive out there, but it was a ton of fun. Jake, speaking of being competitive, all right, the new NCAA game. I've gotten a chance to play it now. I had my copy sent over. All right. Have you had a chance to play it yet? I'll start you off with that.
I have not, but of what I've seen, it looks absolutely amazing. I thought they've done a very good job with it. Madden's kind of like been the hot topic around the locker room for a long time. So having the guys being able to play NCAA and then playing as themselves in a way is just, I think it's pretty awesome. And then it's going to bring a lot of competitive to every locker room in the nation.
Have you had a chance, because I know that when we talked last, you told me that with the late transferring and all the rosters being updated last second, you weren't able to be put right in the game right away. But have you had a chance to talk to your brother, Cade McNamara, quarterback at Iowa, about the game? Because he's in it. He was in one of the trailers. I saw his name in there. Obviously, there's been some anticipation with that. Have you had a chance to talk to him about it? What did he think about the game?
So I have a funny story. He hasn't played it either. He doesn't have a next-gen console. So, he's just chilling with an old Xbox One that's collecting rust, and he hasn't even been able to play the game.
See, this was my thing. I had this discussion with some of the guys in the locker room today. Some of them are in the same exact situation. They have an Xbox One or they have a PS4, and they don't have the new console. but EA sent $600 to every person that was in the game, which is exactly what you'd be able to need to go out, get the console, some controllers, whatever else you need, a mic, whatever you need. That $600 should be able to go cover it, to get yourself the new gen console and be able to play the game. Do you think that Cade would do that? Is he going to upgrade consoles? Is he going to help you out and let you get, the game? Is there any of that going on?
I mean, if I asked him, he'd definitely be able to, send me his code just like everyone else got. But as far as he goes, he's not a big gamer, and he's just got a lot going on. He's getting ready for the season and preparing. So, I mean, I talked to him about it, and he's honestly said that the last thing on his mind is buying a new console. I know that they sent him the money to do it, but his mind's elsewhere, and he doesn't really want to get into something right away when, he's just got so much else going on.
Jake McNamara is with us here on Talking Under Center with your host, Cade McConnell. Jake, we're curious. Let's just say you decide to build your own quarterback as you, all right? What are the strengths and attributes that you will give yourself as far as scores and as far as levels? So why don't we start first with arm strength? How high will you give yourself for arm strength?
I'm not a guy that can throw the ball 80 yards, so I'm not going to say something outrageous like everyone else would put out there. But, I feel like I can make every throw on the football field, so I'd probably score in at around an 85.
Is that right? Is that fair, Cade?
No, that's extremely fair. I believe my arm strength rating on EA was 87, so I'd even bump Jake up with that. Jake has a lot of arm talent and can do some things off platform with his feet not set, so that goes directly to arm strength. So I'm even going to bump him up a little bit right there.
What are some of the other different attributes, and then we can find out how Jake would grade himself?
Okay, Jake, one of the attributes that I scored a little bit higher in was my toughness and durability. I was at like a 91 or a 93 in that. So could you give me what do you think your toughness and durability is?
As of the looks of last year, I took a hit that knocked me out for the whole season, so I'm guessing they wouldn't put me high, but, I grew up at a high school where I was used to kind of getting hit a ton during the games and having to avoid that, so I kind of got good at it. So I would probably score myself a 90 for toughness.
All right. That's fair, extremely fair. One of my attributes that I was surprised to see a little bit was the 75 agility, and I don't remember exactly what my speed was. But you're fast. You're a mobile quarterback. You've always been great at running read option or pulling the ball down and scrambling when you need to. Give me what you think your EA rating would be for speed and agility.
Speed, I'm probably a 4.6, 4.7 type of guy. So whatever that line up to. So I'd probably just say like an 83 because I know that there's guys on the outside that can blaze and they're graded around 85, 86s, and I just know I'm not as fast as them. As agility goes, I've kind of been known to be quicker in some areas. Side note, I hold the record at UTEP for the 5.10.5, so I would probably put myself up at a 87 for agility.
What would your overall rating be?
I'm not going to get cocky. There'd probably be some things that knocked my stats down. I'd probably put myself around a 75.
Oh, still higher than Cade.
Okay, yeah.
That's good to know.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm a 74, Jake. Thanks for that one.
I just had to one-up them.
Hey, by the way, Jake, would you like to play the game as Cade?
I would love to do that.
How are you going to play as me, though? Like, are we going to play as me and we're going to go, 303 touchdowns? Or are you playing as me against NMSU and you're just ripping picks to the free safety every chance you get?
If I were to play, I'd play to win, so I would not play NMSU in that sense. So I'd probably just play a team that, I've have bad blood with or just a new team in general. So I would, I'd try and do my best for my best friend, and I feel like he deserves to have a good game if I was playing for him.
I can hear you smiling at the end of that sentence. That's just, it's such a safe answer by you. It's such a great best friend answer. I love it. One last thing about EA before we get off of this. When are you going to come down to El Paso and hop on the sticks with me and play side by side so we can get into it?
I mean, we can play probably this weekend. We gotta have the Battle of I-10. Unfortunately, I'm not in the game, so we can't play against each other. So I mean, I'm ready to run it whenever you are.
Jake, it's Adrian back here. If you guys had to grade each other's video game skills, are you winning this game? And then second question is more of an on-field question in terms of both Cades. Your brother Cade and Cade McConnell here. How would you just assess their play and how they've matured as a quarterback over the years?
So I'm going to start out with the second question. As for my brother goes, he's been in big games. He started in the college football playoff. He's kind of been in the biggest moments other than the national championship, you could say. So, but he's also had a couple injuries. And dealing with injuries, I'm with him every offseason. We go to the same quarterback coach. And just seeing him develop on the mental side and maturity side, because to go through injuries like that in college football, which takes you out of a season, took him it honestly led him to Iowa where he is right now, because if he didn't get hurt, who knows what it would have been like at Michigan. So just seeing him mature and develop is just very inspiring. He's my biggest role model. I look up to him. And as far as that goes, the years, the longer you're in college football, you definitely build a side that people don't see. There's a lot of freshmen that just don't have experience in some ways. So being able to be around my brother Cade, he's going into his 6th year. He's a vet of college football. It's just great to be around. And for Cade, Cade came on the scene mid-season last year. People didn't really know who he was. He played at JUCO. And then the way he went in the game against La Tech, he was taking shots, and he earned a lot of respect from our team just by doing that and taking us down the field. And then as he kept developing, we started winning some games, which was huge for the program because UTEP didn't start off too hot last year. And, being able to watch Cade go in, take over the team, which a lot of guys gravitate toward Cade in a sense, that I'm excited to watch Cade this year because I feel like he's done a great job this offseason. He's planted himself in a great way with the team right now, and I know a lot of those guys look up to him, so I'm excited to watch Cade. And then I'm going to need you to repeat your first question.
Just who's the better video gamer?
Oh, I would say Madden, me and Cade have never played. We normally play the show together. Me, Gavin, Hardison, Marcus Fellon, and Cade would play the show almost every day last off season. So home run derby, I'm taking Cade. In a game, it's probably split, but I'd say overall gamer, I take Fortnite. Cade takes Rainbow Six. So it's going to be a pretty good battle.
I'm looking forward to it too because it is split. It is split in that sense. And when it comes to video games, I think that we're pretty balanced. You're listening to Sports Talk. This is the 3rd episode of Talking Under Center. I'm your host, Cade McConnell, talking to newly New Mexico State University quarterback Jake McNamara. Jake, that was awesome. Those were some very soft answers right there, right? It was nice. I'm going to give you a question right here that you can't softball with me. All right. California high school football or Tennessee high school football?
You're putting me in a pickle because if it wasn't for the Trinity League, Tennessee wins by a landslide. So, I mean, the Trinity League's different. Everyone comes out of there. You got a lot of great teams there, like modern day. But, I mean, Tennessee football has great football too. They produce a ton of guys, but honestly, I'd probably pick California in this sense.
Okay, Jake, then here we go. Ready? I agree. The only thing that I need to say in that argument is Mater Dei and Bosco, and I could walk out the door and feel confident with my answer. But take the Trinity League out of it. Let's take the Trinity League out, and let's leave it with all the top-tier public schools that are left. We're talking about, my high school, Los Alamitos. We're talking about schools that had and produced people like Jaden Daniels, who was at Cajon. We're talking about Upland. We're talking about a lot of really, really high-level schools. At that point, are you still choosing Tennessee? Are you still sticking with your roots?
Yes, I'm choosing Tennessee because I've seen a lot of high school football in California. My brother played in Reno, Nevada, so I'm very familiar with the West Coast. And when I played in Tennessee, the big difference was the box. I mean, the linemen are way bigger down south. They get fed good, so the box is definitely a lot bigger. And then, you got the private schools because you can openly recruit in Tennessee if you're a private school. So a lot of guys transfer in from out of state. So I think that if you take out the Trinity League and it's like Tennessee's private schools, 6A and 5A, I think Tennessee brings it home all the way.
I can respect it. Last question I'll ask you about high school athletics right here. Which state of all 50 states has the best high school football?
I mean, I feel like everyone's answer is Texas.
I don't know, man. There's a really big argument lately for Florida. California always comes into the mix. I'll stick by California the whole time. And then Georgia's been creeping up there lately. I mean, Georgia's had a ton of people that have gone in, but I think that the big three of California, Texas, and Florida are definitely those big three staple ones.
Yeah, I can definitely stand by that.
Jake, I got one last question before we wrap things up with you, and that is, how does the quarterback room look at New Mexico State this year?
Quarterback room, so we got a bunch of guys competing. We have a lot of new faces in the room. We had 3 guys come in January. They competed throughout the whole spring. Then we had 2 new additions coming in May, which were me and another guy. So as it looks right now, we don't have a named starter. We're going into camp, and a lot of guys are going to get reps. A lot of guys are going to compete, and a starter will be pulled and taken out of from camp. So I'm just looking forward to competing with the guys, building connections with my teammates, and then getting ready for fall.
Jake, if there's one game or one thing that you're excited for this season, what's it going to be?
I mean, you can always look forward to UTEP just because, I came from there. It's the biggest rivalry that we have on the schedule. But, I'm just excited. I'm going to take things slow. I'm just excited for SEMO. That's our first game. And then the overall UTEP's obviously going to be very exciting. I will know everyone on the field. But SEMO's definitely one to look forward to, game 1.
100%. Jake, listen, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on and being on the 3rd episode ever of Talkin' Under Center with me, sponsored by the Oscar Arieta Agency. I appreciate you coming on, man. It was great to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Take care. You're listening to Sports Talk. I'm Cade McConnell.
Cade's segment, Talking Under Center, gets better and better every week, considering this time he had to throw an audible at the line of scrimmage because of the way some things worked out on our end that were not his control. Being able to get Jake on and deliver that kind of segment on radio was terrific.
It was. I really enjoyed it. It was great to get Jake's thoughts on just the transition, moving over from UTEP to New Mexico State, and the fact that he followed it up from a Calvin Brownholtz interview last week that was fantastic. So Gavin Hardison, Calvin Brownholtz, Jake McNamara in the can so far. Can't wait for all the upcoming guests.
Yeah, and you got a lot planned, and some might not necessarily be quarterbacks, but others will, and you've got a pretty big Rolodex, don't you?
Actually, that's the really cool thing about this segment is that, I have been so fortunate to connect with a lot of different quarterbacks around the country. And, some of the people that we got lined up and that are going to be on the show soon may not be quarterbacks themselves, but they can sure talk some football and talk under center. And they may be people that nobody has any idea about from El Paso and could be across the country and give a really cool insight and perspective into the life of Division I college football.
I agree. And if you're just joining us on the program, one of the nice things about the start of today's show was we announced that Cade is going to be hosting his first football camp, which is something that, a lot of people love the opportunity to do, but don't get the chance to do it. You will, and that is coming up a week from Saturday. That's going to be the 27th of July, and it's going to be out at Canutillo High School.
It is. It's going to be so exciting. The link to register is in my bio on Instagram. I've posted it on Twitter as well. There's a QR code on the poster that's been posted. Go register now. There's limited spots available. And, right now, spots are already starting to fill up. But as soon as we announce this NFL star that's going to be here, I am sure that those spots are going to fill up extra fast. So, I can't emphasize enough to everybody that's thinking about it how much, I am going to make this camp and we are going to make this camp really great for the people that are there. I want a kid that's in a middle schooler or a young adult that's going through high school to really be able to take something away from this camp and get better. The thing that you always hear from coaches is, if you don't take everything, take one thing from today and get better. And I really, really believe in that because, you may not be able to soak in all 100 things that a coach tells you at one time. But if you can genuinely take bit by bit and get better and better each time, you're going to benefit yourself. And there's going to be a lot of great coaching at this camp that's going to allow all these players, quarterbacks, wide receivers, and defensive backs, all the way from the 6th grade up to their senior year of high school that are going to be able to learn something.
Now, let me give some details on Cade's past passing and skills camp from 9 to 1. It's a 4-hour camp, and that's going to be at Canutillo a week from Saturday, July the 27th. Number one, to have your son play in this camp, or be a part of this camp, I should say, whether in middle school or high school, $75. There are going to be additional priced options that would involve potentially meet and greets and opportunities to do things with these special NFL guest who has not yet been named. But also, you can not only, when you fill out the form about the individual that's going to be in the camp, you can mention whether they're a quarterback, wide receiver, or defensive back. Those are the big three. Also, dietary restrictions, because there will be food that's going to be provided, as well as a shirt size. So a lot of things that are going to be happening with this camp.
There's a lot of things that are going into this camp, and the team that's been around and the people that have been making this happen have done a wonderful job, and it's all in efforts to try to have every single kid and every single person that comes out to this camp have an enjoyable experience. Let's make it fun. Let's make it productive. Let's make sure that you're taken care of with a shirt and some food and water and everything else. That way that that day on July 27th at Canutillo High School is nothing but fun and good football.
Absolutely right. So definitely that's happening. And Adrian, we do invite our listeners to take a shot at who they think the special guest would be. Eric, the number 4 Nier, earlier said he believes the NFL guest will be former Miner great Paul Smith, whose son is now on the Miners. That's Shea Smith he's talking about.
Good guess.
Can you confirm, yes or no, is Paul Smith the NFL player who will be joining you at the camp?
If it was a yes, I would not be able to say so, but I can confirm that it is not Paul Smith.
Okay. By the way, when can Cade release the name of the NFL player who will be joining him at the camp?
That's a great question. I would ask his agent. Cade is now being represented by an agency, Steve. So,
God.
we're being told by the representation from Cade. We got to hold off.
Okay, so there you go. The official announcement will not be coming on the program today.
It will not be coming on the program today, but thanks to Ajax Sports Agency, who's really helped me, facilitate some of these NIL deals, or just help, out in general with things like a camp, because they've done those things before. Ajax, who's handling some of these negotiations, along with me and Adrian, being in contact with them, they're going to let us know in just a couple of days it's going to come out.
All right, good. So if somebody guesses, all we could tell you is we cannot confirm nor deny that individual will be coming to the camp. Although, if they get it right, we'll make sure we get enough information so that way we can contact them and give that free camp admission.
Absolutely.
Okay, so everybody that wants to take a shot, just leave us your contact info. So if, in fact, you are correct, you will be rewarded. I like that. Bottom of the hour as we hit the midway point of the show. More with Cade, more sports talk. But first, let's go right back to Michael Plundo standing by with his Sports Center update. All right, Michael, thank you very much as we continue here on the program. Hey, meanwhile, Russell Westbrook will be joining the Nuggets after the Clippers and Jazz agreed to a sign-and trade involving Russ. So this is interesting. Utah waives the former MVP, buys out the remainder of his contract. So now Russell Westbrook to the Nuggets. This is a team that was an NBA championship team just a year ago, and they had an early disappointing exit. Is Westbrook at this stage in his career somebody that can come off the bench and give Denver the kind of help they need?
No, I'm sorry, Sal Montes. Sorry to the nucleus of our group who likes him and, all the Clipper fans or OKC fans, whatever. No, this is the last leg for Russell Westbrook here. Can he lead the second unit? Maybe. But we've seen what happens when it's crunch time moments, when it's playoff situations. You just don't trust Russell Westbrook. That's just the bottom line. I haven't been able to trust him over the last 3-4 seasons. He hasn't played any relevant basketball over the past 3-4 seasons. Some of that isn't really his fault. Some of that was, bad team. I didn't think that he necessarily should have been on that Lakers squad, and the Lakers should have gone all in to try to get Russell Westbrook to try to fix their problems. Here in Denver, he's not really called to fix problems, but he is called to provide depth. And this Denver team right here lacks a lot of that depth right there. They're going to have to rely on young guys Russell Westbrook will definitely be one of those older veterans who leads the younger guys.
Sal has chimed in after listening to that and said, I trust Westbrook with my own life. So there you have it, instant reaction from Sal on the Westbrook move. Now, I will say this, okay? I also believe that Russ has kind of reinvented himself. And what I mean by that is that when he was with the Clippers, he became known more for his defense than he did for his offense and his distribution. That's been his calling card his whole career. So he became kind of that shutdown defensive point guard. And you look at Denver losing their backups. They lost a pair in terms of Reggie Jackson and Contavious Caldwell-Pope. So they need a backup. They need somebody that come in, spell minutes, and play defense. And maybe that is the new Russ Westbrook at the age of 35. He's bought into it. He's not all about himself like he's been in the past. And maybe realizing he's playing with one of the greats in the game right now, and that'll kind of give him the opportunity to embrace that role with Denver.
Yeah, I just get worried knowing that if they get into an instant of where they have to rely on Russell Westbrook, that's where you get a little worried. And, he averaged a steal a game. I agree. I think that he has become a better, or I would say a more willing defender. That was my biggest issue with Russell Westbrook is it felt like at times he lacked the effort on the defensive side. Hey, I'm a big fan of LeBron. I'm not saying he has any sort of defensive urgency out there right now. But with Russ, this year it was the first real season we saw him commit to that. Like, can he continue to commit to that and play, the full 82-game season plus a postseason run with this Denver team? We're going to have to find out.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Any thoughts you want to weigh in on this one, Cade?
Yeah, as a Clipper fan, I'm really curious to what our identity is going to be next year. It's going to be a lot different. And although, people have their opinions about Russ, I enjoyed watching him play, and I thought that he was good for the Clippers. But more importantly, he was a leader and part of a culture in the way that, the Clippers ran a lot of the times. His leadership, his energy was part of the Clippers' identity. Now with no Paul George and no Russell Westbrook, I'm really curious to see what this team looks like next year.
Yeah, Chris Dunn is who they received from Utah today in the trade for Westbrook. And Chris Dunn is a 30-year-old who does nothing. He basically comes off the bench, will give you 4 or 5 points a game, maybe more of a defensive-oriented player than an offensive-oriented player. So to me, I feel like they're going to run with Kawhi, and they're also going to pair him up probably with James Harden. That's your nucleus with the Clippers. Those two and fill out the roster after that.
The biggest, real quick, Cade, my biggest concern is Harden. Just what you said right there, Steve. When you commit to winning with Harden, those things don't actually work out. The best run he ever had was maybe 7 years ago with the Houston Rockets when they were going up against the Golden State Warriors with those great teams. So haven't seen Harden play relevant and strong basketball over the last couple seasons.
Thoughts?
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is you start leaning on Kawhi and James Harden, who I believe are both great players, but I can't help but feel like taking PG and taking out Russ lacks more than what we, I don't feel like the trade-off is great there. So I'm sure there's more work to do. There's going to be more pieces, to the puzzle. There's a lot of guys on the bench and young guys that I like on that team. Norman Powell is one of my favorite players in the entire NBA, and I love watching him play. But I can't help but feel a little bit sad and a little bit less excited about the season, knowing that Paul George and Russ are not going to be there.
How excited are you knowing you're about to move into a new state-of-the-art arena that you're not going to have to share with the Lakers anymore? That's going to be, from what we understand, the latest and greatest in the NBA.
No, it's going to be super exciting. I cannot wait to go back home and get to a game as soon as possible. Hopefully the schedule in football and everything else lines up good enough so just right when I get back I can go experience it.
Terrific. 38 past the hour as we continue here on Sports Talk. All right, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, Pro Football Focus has graded out every NFL roster heading into 2024. Where do you think your favorite team lies right now? We'll break it down, tell you some of the top rosters in the league and some of the lowest-rated rosters in the league. That's still to come as Sports Talk continues. 600 ESPN El Paso. 15 in front of 6 as we continue here on Sports Talk. Welcome back, everybody. The Saturday Watermelon Party coming out to our favorite place, Western Playland, out there at Sunland Park. Excited about this. Adrian's going to be out there. Alberto's going to be out there. I will be out there. I think I'm handling the microphone from 4 to 6 on Saturday. Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the watermelon eating contest. I'm looking forward to the seed spinning contest. I'm looking forward to the live music. I'm looking forward to the fireworks show afterwards. Adrian, I'm just looking forward to people going out, having a watermelon fun time out of Western Playland this Saturday.
Me too. I haven't been to Western Playland, admittedly, in a while, so I'm excited to go back, ride some rides, eat some watermelon, be out there with all our great friends who are going to be part of this as well. Special thanks to Western Playland, first and foremost, right? They're hosting us for the watermelon party. They jumped on board when it came to our idea with fireworks. I'm talking about our radio station's ideas, not my ideas for sure. But nonetheless, Steve, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about the Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers coloring contest. So for all the parents out there who have a youngster who need to get away from the rides for a little bit, you could stop by. You could color one of those coloring pages and turn them back in for a chance to get a free kids combo thanks to Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. They're going to be out there. Napa Auto Parts will be out there handing away some great swag. New Start Homes will be out there displaying one of their tiny homes, one of their mobile homes, and they will have people registering for prizes out at that model home. So a lot of fun going to be happening this weekend out at Western Playland.
It's terrific. It's happening right around the corner, and also the fireworks show to end the evening. That's courtesy of Tea2Go, Tea and Energy. A lot of great people going to be a part of our watermelon party. We hope to see you out there as well. All right. Meanwhile, NFL roster rankings with the season right around the corner. I checked this out from Pro Football Focus, and they do a terrific job. PFF, one of the best in the business. And they went through all 32 teams to rank rosters with breakdowns of their strengths, weaknesses, X factors, and rookies to watch. Who do you think ended up being? Well, you already saw Alberto. You're looking right at the screen, so you can't cheat. Who do you think ends up getting the number one roster in the NFL heading into the 2024 NFL season?
Ooh, this is great because when you're talking, all right, and I don't have anything. Michael Plundo has checked, so I'm probably the only one here.
Look, he's even he's ready to leave the building too. That's hilarious.
Okay, so it's not the Chiefs. I'm just going to throw that out. It's not them. It's not the Bills. They don't have the best roster. I'm going to go ahead and guess the Ravens at number 1. PFF ranks them.
That is a good guess. The Ravens actually check in at number 5. Okay. So number 5 for the Ravens, which is again solid top 5 team.
Can I go again?
Hang on. Let's give Cade a chance.
Yeah. Hey, Adrian. All right.
Yeah. By the way, and the Bills, by the way, check in at 10. In case you're wondering, they are 10th in the league. All right. Cade, you get a shot now. Who do you think has the number 1 roster heading into 2024?
When was this published?
This was published May 29th.
Oh, yeah. San Francisco 49ers.
That's correct.
Bang.
Great one.
Now, if I would have said it was published yesterday, who would you have gone with?
I don't know who I would have gone with, but it wouldn't have been the 49ers because Brandon Ayuk just requested a trade.
That's correct. That is correct. So we'll see what happens, by the way, because you're right. As of then, as of that day, Ayuk was right there in the middle of it with Deebo Samuel and Ricky Pearsall, and it's a great roster. So I'm interested to see if in fact they do trade Ayuk and what they end up getting, and who's going to land Ayuk, since there's a lot of teams that would love his services.
It's now the Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes, right? A lot of good opportunities. If you're a team out there, if you have a contending team out there and just need somebody. But Steve, in these cases in the past, we've seen teams with no wide receiver 1 trade for a guy like this. The Patriots, they don't have a clear number 1.
True.
Commanders, maybe they throw him with McLaurin and think, hey, Terry McLaurin could be more of a wide receiver, like a Z receiver, an X receiver, and then have somebody like Ayuk as a true wide receiver.
Chargers.
They don't have a true number 1. That's a great one.
What number do you think the Chargers are as far as their roster ranking?
I'm going to guess and be like, I think we're going to go 29.
It's a good guess. Good guess. 26. 26 best roster in the league, according to Pro Football Focus. So that means that, Harbaugh's got some work to do.
We have a whole lot of work to do. Losing Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, I mean, those are arguably the 3 best players that were on that team outside of Justin Herbert, at least on the offensive side of the ball.
I know that, let's see. We've got 2 people here that are Steelers fans. Have you both already looked to see where the Steelers rank roster-wise?
16.
Come on, man. You weren't supposed to say anything. You're not supposed to say yes. I already knew. Everybody, I mean, come on, Mike. Give me a break.
Sorry, Steve, I had
I was going to have Alberto guess. He didn't know. Well, there was that answer right there.
Do we get to play any more of these? I like these number.
Oh, yeah, this is
what
fun.
about the Jets? Let's go the Jets.
Okay.
Take a guess.
Closest one wins.
Fair enough. I already know because this is my my segment, so I did a little research on this one. What do you think the Jets are?
20. I'm going to go 20.
20, okay. Fair enough. Michael, you're out because you probably will look and blur it out.
I already know it, so I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, that's a good answer, man. Good answer. All right. So what do you think, Alberto?
12.
12.
I feel like you saw something.
I didn't see it. I'm not looking anymore because I want to play.
My number that I had in my head was 14.
Okay. Well, guess what? One of those numbers is correct. It's either a 1 or a 4. And since the 49ers are 1, that would mean the Jets are
4.
Fourth.
Oh.
Fourth best roster according to Pro Football Focus.
You know what? I really like that,
No.
actually. No, I really like that. And I didn't like how I said 14 because I dropped it when Alberto and you had your guess, Adrian. I didn't like that because I think that's a great rating by PFF there.
It's a high rating. It really is. But they went 4. Dallas Cowboys, guys. Where do you think the Cowboys sit?
Ooh.
I'm going to go 16. Oh, wait, we just said 16. 17. I'm going to go 17.
17, okay. Now, Michael, have you cheated and looked, or do you not know?
I already know, so again, I'll sit this one out.
Why don't you just put the phone away, and that way you can guess like everybody else? Man.
I read this earlier. It's not like I was cheating. I looked at it earlier, Steve. Come on, I know this stuff.
All right, Michael. All right. What do you think?
The Cowboys?
17 was Adrian's guess. What do you think now? The Cowboys.
Cowboys, I'll go 25.
25 out of 32 for roster strength. Okay.
That's too low. I'm going to go one higher than Adrian. I'm going to go 18.
18? 9. What? Number 9 for the Cowboys. They're in the top 10 for their roster.
So they're probably saying, CeeDee's close to the top of his receiver category, like he's closer to the top there. Probably saying Parsons number 1 is a pass rusher. When we're talking about the Jets, PFF probably loves Garrett Wilson, loves Sauce Gardner. They love the fact that the Jets have them, along with a very, very, very efficient quarterback and a very stat-friendly quarterback in Aaron Rodgers.
So the Cowboys' highest-rated player is Micah Parsons, 92.4. Then you've got DeMarcus Lawrence at 91. Then you also have Dak Prescott at 90. And you have CeeDee Lamb at 90.9. Their lowest-rated player as a starter to begin the season, Mozzie Smith at 47.2.
Sounds right. Sophomore player, second year in the league. Let's see what he could do. But, yeah, that's a good one right there. Rams ranking, was it 9? No, I'm just kidding.
What do you think the Rams ranking is?
I'm guessing 21.
All right. The Rams check in at
19.
14.
Okay, not bad.
Almost a little bit better than the middle, actually. So, the New York Giants, for people wondering.
32.
Close.
31.
The Giants,
30.
believe it or not, are 29. The only team's worst, the worst roster in the league. I'm sorry, the Giants are 31. 31 out of 32. So the worst is the Denver Broncos.
Okay, yeah,
that is the worst.
That was going to be the guess.
So 29, by the way, in case you're wondering, is the New England Patriots. They're ahead of the Giants. Even the Carolina Panthers are ahead of the Giants.
Washington Commanders, like 27.
Commanders are 27. And the Cardinals are 28. So, yeah.
Titans are a little, they're not in that bottom half right there, or 5, I should say.
No, Titans are 25.
I like this.
Yeah,
I like this game, Steve.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, it's good.
I like it too. All right. When we come back, we will wrap things up. We'll find out how many. We know what we should do right now. Make Michael Plundo put his phone down, and let's see how many he can remember for the PFF grades since he has already studied this story.
Oh, my gosh. Let's do it.
All right. We'll come back with more in a moment. 600 ESPN El Paso. And we've got a whole team here today. Michael Plundo is with us. We've got also Alberto Duetta and Cade McConnell. If you missed any of Talkin' Under Center with special guest Jake McNamara, you can catch it later tonight when we upload the show on demand, whatever platform You listen to 600 ESPN El Paso on demand. Get a chance to hear that and everything else we've got in store for you as well. 505-6009, our telephone number, 505-6009. Would love to hear from you here in our final hour of the show. By the way, if any of you listening have had the opportunity to play College Football 25 yet, and you've played as UTEP and as Cade, call in. I would love to get your review of the game. What do you like so far? Have you been able to run the table with Cade at quarterback, or was it just too impossible with the schedule that you've had to try to handle this season? So these are the kind of important, hard-hitting questions that we need on the show.
No, they are. We need these kind of questions. I need to be able to give feedback. I've actually, fun fact, I have gotten, I think now, over 10 DMs on Instagram. Random people that I do not know DM me, hey, Cade, I'm using you. I'm acquiring you in my dynasty team. This is the Heisman season. Let's go. Can't wait to rock with you. Like, just people just so excited. And then I just love it that I'm on their team. And I have no idea who these people are, but they love it enough to DM me and be like, let's rock. And
that is fantastic.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Has anybody DM'd you and said, hey, Cade, it was great using you until you threw that pick six in the fourth quarter. I lost the damn game, and now my season's screwed. Thanks for nothing.
Pretty much, I've gotten one of those DMs where it was, some vulgar language, and it was like you threw 2 pick sixes on the goal line for me last night. And I was like, well, I don't know if I threw those for you. I didn't have the controller, but it's okay.
Take the credit when people are complimenting you, and then when people rip you, say, I don't even know what you're talking about. It's not the wand, it's the wizard, pal. And that way you can basically tell them that it's all about them playing the game, not you.
That's right. You take the positives when we can get it, and then you blame the person on the sticks when it's negative.
100% right. 100%. And by the way, the game actually drops at midnight tonight. That is the I guess the EA Sports message for all of those that did not get early access to the game. So they get it at midnight tonight, and then everybody can start playing college football. Do you think College Football 25 is going to become the most played game ever from EA Sports because of NIL? Will it surpass Madden?
Oh, I think that College Football 25 will be the single most popular sports video game of all time.
You do?
No, not a question in my mind, actually.
Yeah, I agree because it's, 11 years playing as athletes, and you realize that the people that are going to be the most jealous are basketball players because they're going to want college basketball to drop with their likeness.
Exactly. Think about this too. So the first day of the early access, right? And the early access, if you bought it, was $100, right? So there was 600,000 people playing on that first day. That is $60 million just right there in the very first day that this game came out. That's why, EA was able to get out and pay, be confident in paying so many people. They knew how big this was going to be, and I think that this is definitely going to be hands down the biggest sports video game of all time.
Can you imagine you literally have all these college athletes? Like, indirectly, we're being hit by all this marketing, by all these athletes like you, Cade, and you're happy to do it because, hey, you got paid for it. You got a check for this kind of thing. It hit the direct deposit, and you feel good about this. So now you're cool saying, hey, I'm Cade McConnell on EA Sports. It's in the game. Maybe you throw a little tagline out there as well. But that's why I feel like you're more comfortable sharing or resharing a lot of this content that's coming your way.
No doubt. The other thing about it is that we haven't been in the game in so long. There haven't been college players. So all of us, are just grateful to be there kind of thing. We're all just happy about being in the game, getting to play it and stuff like that. That's why everyone was like, yeah, we'll take the $600 and, we'll go play it and it's going to be great. It'd be interesting to see how the players, that are part of the NCAA negotiate going here on out because, this game is about to be millions and millions and millions of dollars.
That's true. And I don't disagree with that, and that's why I'm interested to see if the ante ups next year or how that goes. But the whole concept is, for $600, and you said this to Jake, you can buy a new console if you need it. That's the beauty of it, is that they're basically paying you to buy a new Xbox or PlayStation if you can't play the game right now.
Exactly. If you just, everyone's got their finances, but if you want to take this on the superficial level of just saying, hey, listen, EA's giving me a free copy of this game. I'm in this game. This is the first game in forever that's going to have this, and it's going to be one for the history books. I'm just going to take that $600. I'm going to get my console that I want, my headset that I want, and I'm going to go have fun, and start off, next gen with all that stuff. So it's really cool that you're able to do that.
Has the game, has EA paid you guys yet, or just the game? Have you received the compensation yet?
I have received compensation, and
Nice.
They actually sent that out quite a while ago. I mean, it was definitely at least a week and a half. It was right when I got back from the break, so it was probably just in the first couple days of July, probably about July 7th ish. And I mean, that was well before we got the codes and before we were playing the game just a couple days ago. So EA has done a fantastic job at not only making this game great, not only being very detailed with things, but from the player's perspective, it was super easy to go get your code. It was not difficult. There was no hassle. As long as you put in all your information correctly, you got your $600. And there's definitely been some hiccups here and there. There's some guys on the team that maybe, haven't had it go exactly perfect. Maybe they haven't been paid yet. But the vast majority of players, everybody's locked in. Everybody's gotten their game. They've been paid for, and EA's handled it really, really seamlessly.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, meanwhile, question here, too, is so you need a new console because you have an older Xbox. So are you going to get one of the new Xboxes, or are you going to go PlayStation 5?
Okay, wait, so I actually have one of the new consoles.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I have the Xbox Series X, which I got a couple years ago. And that's like the big dog, new Xbox. There's the X and the S, and think of the,
So you've got the newest system.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Who's the one that the old one? Jake? Is that you were saying? Jake McNamara's got the Xbox One?
Or actually, it was Jake has a new one too. His brother Cade said that he had the old gen console and wasn't going to get the new one yet.
I got you. Hey, by the way, this is really cool. Thanks to Jacob Matthew at Jacob Matthew 915. He's got a list of 15 El Pasoans that are all represented in the brand new College Football 25 over the course of 6 FBS conferences. This is a cool list. And by the way, as far as UTEP goes, because I'm sure that'll be asked, you've got Julian Lopez, Ivan Escobar, Rolando Beltran. Those are 3 minors right off the bat. You also have Josh Hancock, Lucas Flores, and looks like that's it. But then Deion Hankins is in the game. You've got Bo Sparks in the game. Devian Deal's in the game. L.J. Martin, obviously. Tavares Jones. There's 15 total, Adrian, that are profiled in this.
Yeah, so let's start off with the top-rated one, and it's Jeremiah Cooper out of Iowa State. Free safety. He's going to be a junior, a true junior, by the way. Played all 12 of the games last year for the Cyclones. Was all Big 12 last season for that Iowa State team. Steve, I don't want to get too far ahead, but next April, we might be talking about Jeremiah Cooper going day 2, day 3 in the NFL draft, the way his trajectory is on right now. Fantastic player, rated 86 overall. And then Deion Hankins, rated 86 overall as well. Let's go.
High ranking for Deion, baby.
I like it. I want to play as Deion. That's the one player I have not played as yet. Loved him at UTEP. Loved him at Parkland. Great kid, friend of the program. And 86 overall for his graduate senior season out at Texas State, which might play some relevant football this year.
Cade, thoughts on your former teammate Deion Hankins checking in with an 86?
When I saw Deion on this game, I was so happy because it looks like him. He's built like a beast, just like he is in real life. They got the hair down, which they messed up for a lot of people, but he's got the hair down, and he's got so many great attributes. There's this little section right under your player where not only do you have all your overalls of stuff, but you have special abilities. And some of them are physical, and others, I think they're like gameplay style or something a little different. But Deion has like 6 physical abilities, which is up there with all the top guys in the country. So they loaded him up on this game, and they did it the right way. He's an amazing running back.
I love the fact they took care of him with that top 86 ranking. That's fantastic. L.J. Martin after that goes at 82.
Which is really cool, Steve, real quick to jump in. He might be the starting running back at BYU, a team out of the Big 12 as well. He played a lot as a true freshman last year for the Cougars, and I'd say this, for LJ Martin, this Canutillo standout, I'm hoping the best for him in the future, too. I mentioned Jeremiah Cooper when I talked about future NFL players. If LJ Martin continues on this trajectory, who's to say he can't play in some capacity of pro football in the future?
So Hankins and Martin are both considered power backs, but Tavares Jones is an elusive back, Adrian, and he checks in with an 80.
Yeah, it's really cool, too, because he played that at Burgess. He played like a scat back. If he was at UTEP, he'd be minor back, but he was a receiver running back at Burgess High School. Tavares Jones was probably the only player from El Paso that I'll ever cover who had an Alabama offer and had all the offers out of the SEC, was a 4-star prospect out of El Paso, 5'9". That's, a little lower. I feel like he is a shorter guy, but elusive back tells me, Steve, that he can catch passes out of the backfield, and he could also, show his agility and shiftiness coming out as a running back.
We mentioned Bo Sparks. He is considered a route runner for Texas State, given a 77 grade as well for the sophomore who's got a chance to make a big name for himself.
Yeah, that Texas State team could be playing really relevant football this season. Bo Sparks comes from Utah Tech. He was an all-FCS player. Hey, if we're going to talk about all the UTEP players being all-FCS players, give a good shout-out to the Franklin graduate right here in Bo Sparks, who could see the field as early as the season. 77 overall rating for him.
I believe after that, TCU's Devian Deal, 76, the son of Mike Deal, who has an opportunity to become a power rusher and make a name for himself for TCU.
Man, what a family. The Deal family killed it. He was at Tulane last year, Steve. Do you remember that? Tulane had an amazing season last year. The whole coaching staff gets basically brought over to TCU, and one of the guys who gets brought over as well is Deal, and I'm super excited for him. He played this really weird position. Like, it's outside linebacker, but he kind of almost lines up as a nose tackle sometimes. He can be like a defensive tackle. He could be agile as a linebacker, so a very versatile player. He played at Pebble Hills, didn't graduate from Pebble Hills. I believe he graduated from Naaman Garland Forest with Jesse Perales, but still somebody who's comes from El Paso.
One other El Paso in the 70s, and that's Lama Lavea, a former Aggie who's now at Akron. He gets a 71 ranking.
Nice. I don't know if he was on this list because, but he should be. I mean, Lama Lavea, great player at Chapin High School. I got a chance to watch him, during his time, and he did not necessarily have bad seasons when he was at New Mexico State. I liked what he did over there as well. Now he just is now using his experience that he earned with the Aggies over with Akron.
We have 4 players from El Paso with 60 or better rankings, starting off with Julian Lopez, the senior tight end. He has a 69 score.
Yeah, Cade, you should just jump in because he's just the jack of all trades. He's like a utility player, right?
He really is. I mean, Julian's been asked to do it all. He's been asked to run routes. He's been asked to block. He's been asked to be a fullback. We've handed him off the ball before. He's really done it all, and he's done a great job of adapting to all those things. So I'm happy that, a lot of our ratings are, a little lower, obviously being at UTEP, whereas opposed to you go to some of these Power 5 schools and just, maybe some guys that have never played before still have higher ratings just because of the stature of the school that they're at. But that rating for Julian right there is pretty solid, honestly.
All right, next up is DJ Crest, the wide receiver as a freshman at Texas Tech. He is rated also a 69, given the deep threat label as far as his ranking.
Yeah, I feel like with Texas Tech, an air raid team like this, they would love a lanky player like DJ Crest Daniels, who graduated from Parkland. Definitely a deep threat. I like the attribute right there. But when you play in that passing-heavy offense like Texas Tech has, mixing in with the run, I don't know if he necessarily sees a field this year, Steve. I think that this is you have to be very selective on who your receivers are. And if they do have some injuries, maybe he gets a chance to play as a true freshman. But I expect a redshirt season from DJ Crest unless I'm missing something here.
66 is the rating for Gael Ochoa, and he comes to UNLV as a freshman, called a scrambler. That is his trait at quarterback.
Yeah, Brendan Marion over there, the go-go offense with UNLV. They already have their quarterback solidified over there, so Kyle Ochoa spends his first season learning. I like the attribute for the scrambler, right? The Pebble High School graduate, he gets that kind of attribute.
62 for UTEP's Ivan Escobar at center. Agile is the best description for Escobar. Thoughts, Cade?
Yeah, I think that agile is a great way to describe him just because, I mean, he's put in so much work in order to do that, in order to be mobile and athletic. And every single time that we've gone out there, I mean, he's done nothing but be that. He's gone out, he's shown all the different ways that he can move, different places he can get his body into. And that's one of the things that you look for the most in order to make blocks, in order to go out and really affect, the defense, get in front of them, is that agility spot right there.
3 other UTEP players, all with scores in the 50s. Lucas Flores gets in at 57. The junior wide receiver considered the deep threat for the Miners.
Here's the thing. Lucas overall could be so much higher than that because he's really talented, but he's battled injuries his entire career, and so that's probably where a lot of that comes from, is just the lack of getting on the field due to him being banged up. And so, when we were, back in my first semester here in that fall camp and then even the last spring ball, Lucas had so many great plays where he is a deep threat. He's long. He has long arms and long legs where he can go up and get balls. Those 50-50 balls aren't so 50-50 with him. And I only hope that he gets healthy and can actually, get back on the field for us soon because he is a really great player, and I would love to see his overall go up.
Guard Rolando Beltran is next. 56 for Beltran, who's got the agile trait next to him.
He could be the fastest O-lineman that we have on the entire squad. I mean, he is so athletic. There are definitely times where if we would do, some 5-10-5 sprints and things like that, I would have to really push myself in order to make sure that I stay ahead of him because that's how athletic and explosive he is.
Josh Hancock will be the other Miner, 54. The junior tight end considered a vertical threat.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a vertical threat. Wait, does it say Josh Hancock? Is that what it says?
It says Josh Hancock, yes.
I don't know if Hancock is still currently on our team. Josh Hancock, that might be an error.
Coastal Christian Homeschool, by the way, guys. I didn't remember him from high school, so I had to look him up. Coastal Christian Homeschool.
Okay, well, he was listed as El Paso as a home. Maybe that was a that could have been an error. Who knows?
Could be.
Okay, let's finish it out then. Jaden Wilson, a 51. He is a freshman. He's at New Mexico. And it looks like outside linebacker for him right now. Pass coverage is his specialty.
Yeah, and he's a hard hitter, too. I mean, he did it at Austin High School. He's going to continue to do it at New Mexico. Really bad Lobos team last year, so he gets the brunt of, getting a 51 overall as his rating. But he's a great player. I think he'll see the field a ton this season. And by the way, he's majoring in radiological sciences. Wow, that sounds interesting. That sounds smart, so I want to be Jaden Wilson's friend.
What is your tendency when they have you listed at quarterback? What does it say right afterwards for you?
Ooh, actually, I can't remember. I don't know. I think it might say field general. I think we need to get a check on that. That's one of the ones I forgot. Sometimes I get excited, Steve. When I go on there and I see my face, it usually means we're about to call a play. And I get excited. I start tapping buttons and before I can tell.
This came in a moment ago from Joe Chacon. Didn't get to hear who nailed the rating prediction for Cade. I'm sure Steve is so pleased that it was me. Hashtag Steve the Believer. Hashtag Steve loves my hashtags. Hashtag repping from Colorado now. Hashtag still accepting donations on my upgrade. Hashtag still playing 14. Hashtag will challenge all when I get the new console.
Hashtag, it took me longer to write this hashtag than the post. Hashtag.
That's true. Good point. A lot of hashtags there. That's exactly right. El Paso Visuals Deportivos with this. Curious. Can you actually play for the Silver Spade Trophy and the Brass Spittoon when playing against NMSU in the game? If not, time to change the EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game tagline.
As far as I'm concerned, I have not seen that actual trophy in the cutscene. So far, when I've played, I don't know. I was just playing today against Sam Guzman of KTSM, and I won in overtime with UTEP. It was an absolute battle. So that's going to be a great story that comes out. But I have not seen the actual trophy in the cutscene or anything like that, so I don't know about that.
Well, maybe we can also get confirmation from UTEP Zay, because if you haven't seen it,
I'll ask him.
Yeah, Zay, if anybody would know, it'd be Zay, because he's probably playing nonstop.
No,
too,
100%. He's been glued to the screen for sure.
22 past as we get going. By the way, who was the closest to your actual rating that we did months ago?
It was Joe.
Was it really Joe?
Yeah,
was it
really
really
talked about it Monday. He wanted the second victory rally, Steve. He just knew that he could bait you into this one with the post. So unfortunately, Joe Chacon did it. But yeah, we gave him a big victory lap on Monday.
Did he hit 74 on the nose?
74 on the nose, and same with
Wow.
the text truth. So we got to get a good signed product for those two.
Oh yeah, they deserve some signed merch from you as a result of
No, they really do. The love and support has been a constant flowing from them. So we will definitely get them some signed merch.
Okay, good. Looking forward to it. 23 past. The Sports Talk continues. Back to Charlie 1 for traffic. Back here on Sports Talk as we continue. 28 now past the hour. All right, Michael, let's play Guess Their Ranking for the PFF roster rankings.
Let's do it, Steve. The phone is down. Fire away.
All right, I'm going to stay with your division since you know Pittsburgh so well. What do the Cleveland Browns check in at?
The Cleveland Browns check in at, I think they're top 10. Let me do a little thinking here.
Yeah, not so easy, is it now? All right. Let's see what you got.
Steve's chirping.
Is it at 12?
It is 12.
Oh, wow. That was.
Phone is down. I'm watching, guys.
Keep an eye on him. I don't trust him. Keep an eye on him.
Hey, the phone is down, okay?
How about-
Adrian is watching and monitoring over here.
How about the Bengals?
The Bengals, I don't think they're too far off. I think they're at 8.
They are 8. Well, you've got a good memory. Are you one of those that has like a photographic memory, and when you find something, you don't forget it? That's pretty good.
Yes, and it's very weird that I'm able to memorize some of this stuff. I'll be honest.
All right. How about the Minnesota Vikings and Aaron Jones? Where do you see them at?
Okay. 19?
Close. Impressive, actually. They were 21.
Okay.
21. 19 was Jacksonville.
Okay, right. Got it.
Believe it or not, the X factor for the Vikings this season is Aaron Jones, the aforementioned Aaron Jones.
Nice.
So
There we go.
they say that there should be a renewed emphasis on the running game for Minnesota this season, and Aaron proved last season that when healthy, he can carry a full workload in every aspect. The Vikings finished 24th in rushing grade last season despite carrying a top 10 running blocking unit, so that Jones and Ty Chandler should complement a developing passing attack well. So we will see if, in fact, that happens. All right. What other? Give me another team, guys. Who else should we test Michael on?
Let's go Detroit. Let's go Detroit. Where are the Lions at?
All right, Detroit.
6?
Yeah. 6 is right.
Wow.
Yes, they're 6.
6? Can we stay on that real quick? 6? Come on.
That's a good team.
Wait, you don't agree with that, Adrian?
Well, I'm saying like they
I
were
love that
were lower than the Jets. So you're telling me the Jets have a better roster than the Lions?
The Jets have an aging roster, and I think that Aaron Rodgers gets a lot of bonus points because of the fact that he's a future
He gives
Hall
you
of Famer.
like 3 extra points, I guess, or 2 extra.
Well, and they also have one of the best running backs in the game, and that's also another thing. I mean, you think about Breece Hall, he checks in at a pretty high number. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. In fact, Aaron Rodgers, do you know what his rating was? A 39.4.
So, wow.
I guess that's what happens after 4 snaps.
Guess so.
So it doesn't, they don't, it's not a historical number. It's just based on the number of plays you've had last season. He didn't do anything. So that's why. All right, what else before we give this game up and let Michael do Sports Center?
Let's do the Ravens. We didn't mention them.
All right.
5.
Ravens?
5.
The Ravens are 5. They are right behind the Jets, the Eagles, the
Niners.
Chiefs, and the Niners. That's right. All right. Anyone you want to test them with? Cade, anybody in mind?
Let's go with the Miami Dolphins.
All right, that's a good one. Miami.
Ooh, okay, so we got the Lions at 6. 11, I think.
All right, we're stopping this game. He is right. 11 on the nose.
Okay, Plundo.
That is good, man.
He got only one wrong.
That's amazing.
And he was only off by 2.
And he's kept his phone down the entire segment, too.
How admirable.
That is terrific. All right. That is. I was going to throw one more at you, but nah, go out on top. That's a way to go. I know you're kind of probably feeling pretty good about yourself right now, too, kind of cocky, so I don't want to ruin that for you. So, excellent job. Well done, man. You ready to do Sports Center coming off this high?
Absolutely.
All right, here he is. Michael Plundo in Sports Center.
Love it, dude. Love it.
Michael Plundo back here with your bottom of the hour ESPN Sports Center update. Let's get to it. Some cool news out of Alabama today, as Alabama is to name the field Bryant-Denny after Nick Saban. That's right, ex-head coach Nick Saban. The University of Alabama plans to honor him by naming its football playing field for him at the Bryant-Denny Stadium. A meeting of the Alabama System Board of Trustees is scheduled for Friday, and on the agenda is the consideration of resolution approving a naming at the stadium at UA. A ceremony to dedicate the new field name is expected to be held on September 7th in conjunction with the South Florida game. Saban, who retired back in January, won Alabama 6 national championships in 17 seasons. He was 108-9 at home as the Crimson Times head coach, and they won 21 in a row in Tuscaloosa before losing to Texas in Week 2 last season. In his final 8 seasons as coach, Saban's only SEC home loss was to LSU back in 2019, the team that went 15-0 to win the national championship. Let's get over to some NFL news. This big one out in Jacksonville, as the Jaguars will be suing Amit Patel, an ex-employee who reportedly stole funds from the organization. That's right, the Jacksonville Jaguars have sued their former employee who stole $22 million from the team in Florida State Court Thursday for $66.6 million in damages. Amit Patel, who oversaw the team's virtual credit card program, pleaded guilty in federal court in December to stealing more than $22 million from the team over a 3.5-year period to help pay off gambling debts and fund a life of luxury. That's a look at your ESPN Sports Center update. I'm Michael Plundo.
Appreciate you, Michael. As we continue here on the program, this came in a little while ago from Enrique Ortiz. To answer the question regarding the Silver Spade and Spittoon, it is not in the cinematic if you win the game, but they are visible in the rivalry image logo. Other rivalries do feature their respected traveling trophies. There we go.
Makes sense.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know how hard it would be to take every single trophy and incorporate that into a celebration after the game? By the way, did EA get did they nail the Sun Bowl and all the details with the stadium?
So I had just talked about this the other day, and from what I remember, there was only 2 minor details that were wrong with the Sun Bowl that we had talked about. There were trees on the mountain that's right above right there. There's no shrubbery or trees really on there. It's just rocks. So they got some green in there, which looks good. It's just not realistic. And then instead of on the stadium it's saying Texas El Paso, like kind of like where we walk out through the tunnel.
Yes.
Out there, and it has like the big UTEP and then the big Texas El Paso on the concrete right there where there's no seats.
Yes.
Instead of saying Texas El Paso, it says El Paso, Texas. But other than that, we're good.
All right. You think they're changing the Sun Bowl this year to match the game design? You think they're going to go ahead and make the adjustment?
No chance. No chance.
Hey, by the way, how about, do you see any of downtown El Paso from the south side of the Sun Bowl, by the tunnel? Like, when you see past that area, do you ever get a shot of downtown El Paso?
Not that I can remember. Other people, I honestly have not paid attention to it too closely, but I don't think so. Not from what I remember.
I did see the LKD right there beyond the north goal line. That was cool.
Really cool. Like, as far as like standing at the 50-yard line and looking around the stadium, I mean, they got it pretty much down to a T.
How about the jersey designs?
So the only critique that I have about the jerseys is not anything other than, that they don't have the blue helmets. So we have the orange helmet in there and the white helmet in there, and then we have all 3 jerseys. So you have the white, the orange, and the blue, but you can't wear the blue helmet. That's my only critique from them. And then outside of that, it's pretty good. But I would like to be able to wear the all blue.
Do you think that that's part of like a special purchase if you keep playing the game and you can unlock bonus features like maybe get the blue helmet?
Yeah, I think that could be something that they add in. I mean, for most schools, they kind of kept it pretty standard to a certain number of uniforms and things like that. Obviously, some schools are exceptions to that. I think Oregon's one of them because, Oregon's known for their jerseys and having so many of them. But I would be very curious to see how they add in those microtransactions.
Do you feel like EA got your face right?
Okay, it's not as bad as like it could be. Okay, they've messed up other people's, but it's not all the way there. Some people may say it is me. I don't know. But one thing that they did not get right, and I don't blame them. Okay, I had lost a agreement with Gavin Hardison on the golf course last year, and I ended up, having to get a mullet and shaving the sides of my head. So by the time we got to fall camp, I did have a little bit of a mullet going still. And you can't really see it in the photo, but I think they took it off of all of our roster photos. So I go onto the game, and like from what I could tell when they spun me around, I have like a full-on like huge mullet in the game.
Oh, so you're rocking the mullet
like
in the ball game?
Oh, it's so big. It's like full-on like Patrick Swayze mullet back there. It's pretty cool, but
Gavin must be getting the last laugh because he realizes that's his doing.
I need to call him like soon. I need to call him today and be like, dude, our arrangement out on the golf course has now cost me my hairstyle in NCAA 25 forever.
Oh, my God. I could imagine.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be, a little, 3-month grow out your hair kind of, deal, and it was it's now impacted me for life.
Oof. We got word, by the way, that UTEP Zay is playing Dynasty mode, and he has already left Conference USA.
That's right. And I asked him just if you could quantify the hours of you. By the way, Zay hasn't been in all week. He was here when the game dropped, and I was seeing him. He was ready to get out of here because he was ready to get on College Football 25 and get on gaming. But he told us, and if I could quantify the hours, it'd be too many. That's all he said. He just said too many hours so far.
Can we get a Red Bull count on how much Zay has drank since getting on this game, and has he slept any hours since picking up the controller?
Sleeping, I don't think that's the case. I've texted him in the mornings this past week, and he'll reply at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He'll go up and, I mean, I'm kind of jealous, right? Like, you're a high school junior. What responsibilities do you have in your life? You're in the summer right now, so you have no school, and you got the video game that you've been waiting for forever. Like, I'd be binging this game like crazy and playing it as much as possible if I was his age, probably.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Man, it's good. Good for him. I'm happy that he's got nothing else to do in his life than just play EA Sports and be UTEP and put together a memorable dynasty. That's going to rank as one of the all-time greats.
I would have a lot of things that I could do if I had free time, but if Alberto had completely free time and you could sit at home and play NCAA 25 or take a nap on the chair that Steve is sitting in right now, which one would you choose?
That's a hard one, but no, I think I'd play video games all day.
Okay.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially that one, yeah.
It's good to know.
That is good. You know what? I've never played it, but I'll be honest with you. I'll just take my couch recliner in the living room, recline back so I can get the best of both worlds. I can relax comfortably with the joystick in my hand playing the game against my son and just have a blast. Although I'll tell you right now, he'd want to be UTEP. He would not want to play any other school. So chances are I'd have to play the opposition and he would play UTEP.
If he was playing UTEP and you had to choose a different school to play, which one would you choose?
Ooh, that is tough. Probably my alma mater, and then he would crush him. Because I am such a novice compared to the way he plays games, he'll just beat the crap out of the Texas Longhorns and just get
Quinn Ewers?
Yeah, you know what? We have to remember though, I can't play video games. So do you think that Texas is so good they're foolproof?
I think your football knowledge will help you out, Steve. I think that'll be it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just about calling the right plays, right? Cade was like calling plays, like he was reading defenses while we were playing this game, and he was calling plays based off that.
Admittedly, this is the truth. I'm really not that good at the game. Like, there's plenty of people that are much better than me at this game, but what I can do is I can sit there and I can legitimately talk through a play. Like if we had a certain play going on, this is the RPO that I'm reading. This is my decide defender that I'm going to choose off of. If he does one thing, I'm going to throw it. And if he doesn't, I'm going to hand the ball off. Or, I can go through it. And those are real reads with real defenses. And the way that, we've advanced through these video games is the way they program defenses to work. It's pretty similar to real life. So if you're making the read for the right reason, a lot of times you're going to be successful in the game.
Are you better at Fortnite or College Football 25?
Goodness, I'm not good at either of them. I'm going to just go with